From the Canopy is brought to you by Brooklyn's own Indians and Robbers Apparel and Art.
All right. Hey, folks, man, this is Corey, and we're back with another From the Canopy podcast episode, and this is the Movie Massacre, and this is a bonus episode of the Movie Massacre, man. So I'm joined, as always, with my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
And we got Cornelius, a.k.a. Evil Courtney.
Oh.
And we got a guest today, because this is a bonus episode. We're going to be talking about our favorite comedies, and we got Steve Mazan. Did I say that right? Mazan. Okay, I would go by Amazing because it sounds.
It sounds like I should lean into it like that, right? But I feel like I'd set the bar too high then, and then I would just open the door. That's the entertainer angle where I'd be like, everyone afterwards would be like, he wasn't that amazing. He wasn't.
Yeah, that's funny.
Steve okay, maybe. Right? Like, change his last name to Fine. He worked.
But Steve has his own podcast, man. And if you want to, I guess introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us a little bit about that or anything else you want to speak on.
Sure. So my podcast is called the Mazan Movie Club. I'm a comedian by trade. That's my job. I'm a full-time stand-up comedian. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I realize when I'm not talking comedy, the other thing I'm doing is talking movies. So eventually I was like, you know what? I should just start hitting record. And so the idea of the podcast is the same as a book club, but I always say it's like a book club for people who hate to read. So instead, you just watch a movie each week. I put it out there, and then everyone chimes in with their thoughts. I include those in the podcast, and then have a guest or two as well that we talk about it the same way you would a book club. So yeah, I've counted down the AFI Top 100, the IMDb Top 100, and now we're on to movies that are well respected, and since everyone's out of work, free on Netflix or Amazon. So that's the gist. And Cornelius has been a guest. We can't remember 2 or 3 times, I think.
Yeah,
that's cool, like that, man. And also, from correct, you've also have a film that you were, I guess you were the subject of the film.
It's I was the subject of a documentary called "Dying to Do Letterman," and the idea of the documentary is in 2005. I was about 6 years into my comedy career and got a stage 4 cancer diagnosis and was given a worst case scenario 5 years to live. So obviously we're 15 years after that, 16 now, and I'm still here. So spoiler alert.
I think you survived. Yeah,
I made it.
Yeah, man.
I made it. But at that point, when the doctor, was here in UCLA, I live in Los Angeles. A doctor tells you might only have 5 years to live. I'm not a worst case scenario guy. I had to take that seriously. I had to ask myself what I wanted to make happen and if I really only had 5 years. And as a comedian, one of my dreams was to be on the David Letterman show. Mm-hmm. So I decided to devote whatever time I had left to getting on the David Letterman show. And a couple friends who were filmmakers heard about the project and they said, hey, we want to follow you on this. And that's the idea of the documentary. It's on Amazon. You can find it on there. I don't feel like I'm bragging about it because I didn't make the movie. I'm in the movie. But on behalf of the filmmakers, I really think they did a great job. Like how you read a book sometimes, and then you go to see the movie, and the movie sucks. It's because it's the same story, but it's just not told right. Mm-hmm. They tell the story greater than I tell the story, even. So they do a great job. So I don't feel like I'm bragging about myself when I say it's a great movie. Money back guarantee if you watch it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. We appreciate you for taking the time to come hang out with us. And I guess we could get into it. I'm not sure who wants to go first, man. I mean, anybody want to volunteer?
I'll start just because we were talking about my podcast. This one comes up on my podcast, and I'm sure you guys talking movies say this all the time. The value of a good film, you could talk about art direction and the script and the acting and that kind of thing. One thing that matters to me is how rewatchable is that movie.
Yes.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Schindler's List is great. I don't know that I could watch it 50 times. You know what I mean?
Right.
No. Although Cornelius did watch 12 Years a Slave again recently. I don't know why he put himself through that.
I have like a random pick. I do like 7 movies a week, just randomly pick. And That came up.
Yeah, I would have had to reshuffle for that.
So the same way we Schindler's List came up for my podcast. It was on the IFI list, the greatest greatest movie, and it's great. When I did rewatch it, I enjoyed it, but I would never. If it was on TV, sit down and be like, oh, let's take this in. You know what I mean? It's a bit. So, anyways, for
one of the episodes I was on with you, we did Grave of the Fireflies, and that's another like good anime film that
that one's rough though, bro.
Really want to rewatch.
Yeah, man.
It's one
of the only cartoons that ever made me cry.
All right, so what's your pick, Steve?
Sorry to cut you off.
It's the Schindler's List of cartoons, right?
Yeah, man.
So, long story short, I think this is, in my opinion, the most rewatchable movie because every time it comes on at any part, I end up watching the whole thing. And there's a bunch of movies like this, but the number one for me is Austin Powers.
Okay.
Austin Powers, I know the jokes, I know where it's going, but there's enough fun, and you don't have to completely be absorbed by it to give it a watch again. Austin Powers, the original, is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, just the characters and like, a lot of really cool characters came out of there. A lot of like really great one-liners, and also the subsequent films weren't bad either. Usually
I love
when you come with sequels, then things start getting worse and worse. But I feel like they were just as strong as the original as well.
I hold on to the first one so much that sometimes I forget how good the subsequent ones were.
Yeah.
Like Mini Me, right? Mini Me comes later.
Great, yeah.
Beyonce won. Beyonce, she was fantastic as Foxy.
Yeah. Susan Goldmember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. She's great.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Sexy. Yeah.
That the steamroller gag in that is like one of my favorite things to see. That just guys freaking out that long distance that they're he's a terror. All he had to really do is just get up and walk away,
right.
Walk around it or whatever.
Yes.
And it's also it's a testament to my man. I can't. What's Mike Myers?
Mike Myers
for being able to just make memorable characters. Like I mean, he's given like Austin Powers almost runs parallel with Shrek. When you hear his voice, you know what I'm saying, his character profile, man.
I feel like he was born to do that. Like that's his apex of just anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, he's had some great SNL moments, but like that was just like boom.
Yeah,
that's
that definitely
a good point.
Made him a household name.
Yeah, that's a good point. So people have brought it up before, like if you can get a 3 or 4 streak in your career of movies, like great movies, it's hard to hit. There's usually a clunker in there somewhere, either as a director or an actor. But you have a good point with this. He was on a heck of a roll there when he had the Shreks and the Austin Powers going.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, shit, because before Austin Powers, the only movie I thought of really was So I Married an Axe Murderer.
So I Married an Axe Murderer, which I love too.
Which is a great
Wayne's
movie.
World was before that though, right? Or after?
I think that was after.
Okay.
Wayne's World seems so long ago. It almost feels like it came out in the 80s, but
yeah, right.
Right,
an extra decade in there.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna volunteer to go next. My next film is gonna be I'm gonna go with How High, starring Method Man, Redman, and a bunch of other people. Man, I can't remember the rest of this cast, but there's some great people in this. But basically, 2 guys, they're kind of pothead, one actually grows weed. They're not kind of, right? Redman still lives at home with his mom, and he's kind of just floating through life. And somehow they finagle their way into Harvard. And it's crazy, man. Like, and then hilarity ensues because there's a lot going on here. There's the fish out of water with them, being these guys that are just, kind of hood, you know what I'm saying, and stoners, and they're going to this prestigious university that they don't really give a damn about. So, was it actually Harvard? I can't remember. Or was it like a made up?
I want to say it was Harvard.
Yeah,
that's
what I want to say it was Harvard.
Yeah, see, there's
when my man was like, "Let's Fox with each other."
yeah, it is Harvard. But it's just crazy. So many fish out of water moments, and they are so naturally funny, man. Like when I'm sat down in the theater, I was having belly laughs, like really, like almost that compulsive, where you're just like, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Just watching this play out, and just it's such a a good film, man. Like every time I watch it, it's also one of those other films that give you a lot of iconic moments and things that become into the lexicon of pop culture, phrases and sayings, and it's just awesome. Like I can't say anything bad about it. But let me bring up this cast. Yeah, so we actually do have Mike Epps in this too. That's one of his early roles.
Oh wow!
He's the
pimp. Baby powder.
He's the powder, the pimp. And he had the guy pouring powder in his hands before. He had
the assistant pimp.
Lark Voorhees. She's one of the Meth and Redman's love interest. We got the dude Al Sharir. He used to host hits on BET.
Yeah.
Like, and at that time, I remember the comedy was that prank kind of doing stuff like that. And he used to do that, between segments of him playing videos. But he pops up as a character. I need money. He doesn't say anything, but he's just there.
He got that shit on his teeth.
Yeah. He's almost like the guy on the couch. He's just hanging around. We also get Essence Atkins. I guess she plays another character. I think that's Method Man's love interest, but the one that stands out here, we also get Fred Willard. You know what I'm saying? He pops up in here.
Yeah.
As well as Oba Babatunde, who I think was great as the dean of the school, like the admissions. Oh man, they were giving him hell. He was the guy that they roasted, like spinning around, like And we get Hector Elizondo, who's great. I think he plays a coach, but it's so wild, like just seeing all these people, put around Method Man and Redman, and they pulled this thing off.
Yeah.
It holds up, man. I watch it and I'm hollering all over again, watching this thing. As well as there's some cool, like little things, like the skits and the commercials, like the pork chops of Chunky.
That one, that Tracy Morgan that was doing those commercials.
I think he might have
long time.
But even those little things, like such care was put into those, because I think Redman's mom is also the mom from Friday, and she's giving him hell just like she gave Ice Cube hell.
Yeah.
Like, I love this movie, man. It's great.
And also it's just a testament of chemistry between the people that you work with, because you can tell that Red and Meth are this, even though they were acting, you sense that friendship that they have off the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like doing a movie with one of your homies. You know what I'm saying? Like and they're just like following and recording. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that also brings another element to the film that just makes it that much more funny and awesome.
Other than The Wire, I think that was like the first time I seen Method Man on film.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was in The Wire, wasn't he?
He was in a couple things though. He's in I think 187.
He was in Belly too.
And Belly, yeah. And 187, I think he's the guy that slashes
Sam L. He hits him with the ice pick.
And I think he's on Copland as well. I think he's the one he throws the guy off the roof, I think, in Copland. Am I right?
I want to say yeah, but I don't know for sure.
I hadn't seen Copland in years.
Yeah,
but this was like his first feature role. Like other than that, he was getting like maybe 5 minutes or less on the screen.
Yeah, he was
before
just,
this film,
doing little bit parts here and there. Yeah. So
did you? I haven't seen the sequel. Didn't they do a sequel? How High 2?
Yeah, but they picked a whole different crew. They're not even involved in it. And Method Man is in Copland. Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Good pull. That's before this, right?
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, shit, I'll go ahead and pick it up. My first film is Office Space, and being someone who works in an office setting, I find this film just it's fucking hilarious on so many levels. For starters, you know what I'm saying, it was Mike Judge's first feature length film, like live action. You know what I'm saying? Before that, all we got was Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. But this film was actually based on a short cartoon that he did called Milton, and it actually premiered on SNL and was on Liquid Television on MTV in the mid 90s. So you know what I'm saying?
Liquid TV was dope,
right? With same shit. We got Aeon Flux and all that other shit. My man that used to sit in the dude's head. But this is pretty much about this dude that he's just fed up with life, and he's just kind of running stagnant through it. And one night he goes and he gets hypnotized and, trying to, relax himself, and he never gets out of this hypnosis. And he just becomes so carefree. And, as he goes through, you know, the film, he's just like, man, fuck this office life ain't for me. And, you know, the thing about it is like his coworkers, they really make the film. Like this one guy, his name is Michael Bolton, but he hates that shit. You know what I'm saying? He hates that shit because he's compared to the singer and shit. But he's like one of my favorite characters. And the thing about him is like, he's so tough on the inside, but so soft. You know what I'm saying? Like every time they show him doing something rough, they're playing like some fucking Scarface or Ghetto.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
The scene where they jump the printer, like they skip the printer and then they're like banging that shit. His face, he's so serious the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many laughable moments, but
the characters though, like you said, they're so great in this.
They're awesome. And the thing of it is that even the characters that aren't like don't have a predominant role, they're still so memorable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the neighbor, for instance. You know, you only see him maybe 2 or 3 times, but he resonates with you. You know what I mean? And so it's just it's really awesome that, you know, this film was so successful, being a first approach at, you know, this style of film for Mike Judge and everything. I like I said, I love it through and through. Watch it all the time.
You know who else I like too? His neighbor. Like that guy was so cool. Like the neighbor was next door. He was like, "Yo, turn on the Cinemax to blah blah blah." And then something.
Man, my man's like, "Man, just come over. Stop talking to me through the wall, dog."
I think Office Space is like, it reminds me of Groundhog Day, because the minute you see it, your life changes in that way. That you see everything through the Office Space spectrum. Then you're like, that's that guy from Office Space. That's the neighbor. That's the Jennifer Aniston character. That's the guy in the basement. That's the
like shit.
Guy.
Not for nothing. Like I was cruising through. It was a couple months back. There was a new guy that started working, and he had a red stapler, and so I started calling him Milton. But his name is not Milton. I was like, "What's up, Milton?" And he didn't understand it at first. I was like, "Nah, dog,
hasn't seen that movie."
Like it took everything in me not to want to take his stapler. Like, nah, you take his stapler away. Let's see what you do next.
All right, man. So what you got, Corny?
My first one that I'm going to mention is Game Night. It's basically a group of people a group of friends that pretty much meet up every couple nights to have a game night. And one of the main characters' brother that he doesn't really get along with all that well shows up and gets kidnapped on a bit of like a pretend scavenger. What would you call it? Almost like a scavenger hunt type deal.
It's like it's almost like a scavenger hunt, kind of like that. What do they do now? They do these escape room kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like a role playing thing that he actually gets kidnapped on, and they just go from there. It has Jason Bateman. Bateman's like one of my favorite.
He's so good.
Comedic actors.
He's always good.
He's always in pretty good stuff. It's Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams, Kyle Chandler, Jesse Plemons is in this, which was insane. He's playing a next door neighbor that's a cop. Plemons is like one of the people out there that every time I see him in a film, somebody's gonna get killed or something bad gonna happen. After don't you agree with me, Bob?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like he has that certain face every time I look at him. Like, dog, what are you thinking? Like he looks like he's thinking 1,001 things every time I see him on the film.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's a real fun film. This might be the newest thing on my list, but I kind of watch this at least like once or twice a year. So I just think it's a fun film,
Yeah, that's one of the great new comedies of the best. Yeah, past decade.
Because I mean, I guess kind of going to what Steve was alluding to earlier, man. Like rewatchability is big, and for me, there a lot of comedies just don't pass that rewatchability test, So it's good. Yeah, I really loved Game Night. When it came through, like that's one I could definitely go back to.
Definitely.
All right, so I guess we're back to you, Steve.
Oh, back to me. All right, so what I do? I'm going to go backwards. So I got it. It's funny you said they're most recent because that made me look at my list. Like, how So that was 90s. I'm going to go back. My first one, 80s. This is an 80s movie. Coen Brothers movie, though. Raising Arizona. It was the first one I had seen from the Coen Brothers. My sister, and this is what I love about movies, like the stories behind them. I remember my sister was in college. She came home. This is when you still had to go rent movies. And he said, "Oh, you got to watch this. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "What? It sounds stupid. It sounds, just the about a baby, and I didn't know who the Coen Brothers were at the time." And again, 5 minutes in, I didn't know what was going on, but I loved it already. I was like, "What? I've never seen anything like this on the way they approached it and shot it and filmed it, and how silly and over the top." It just throws you in right away. Nicolas Cage is doing some silly voice, and what's her name, Holly Hunter. Everyone's being ridiculously over the top, and it's so much fun. And again, great rewatchability. And as we've said with each of these, I think this might be the thing. Like Corey was saying, like you got to have good actors in all these, even though it's a comedy. And they always say, comedy's hard. It never gets any of the respect. There's never a comedy up for Best Picture. But all these so far that we've named, great actors in all these. And Raising Arizona, another one of those. The supporting cast, John Goodman, all these guys, fantastic, top to bottom.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember first seeing this. I was little, and every time it was on, I watched it because we had HBO. That was like our only premium channel, but every time it came on and I would look through the little TV guide. This is when you used to get the TV guide in the paper on Sundays, folks.
Yeah.
And I would, and that was it. Every Sunday I would look and, figure out what I'm going to watch during the week. And this thing was on a lot of times and I watched it every time. And it was just, I feel like I didn't understand what was really going on at that age, but for some reason, like you said, the way the Coen Brothers shot this and the way it was presented, it just mesmerized me. And I love this movie, as well as we got, Randall Cobb running through as a bad guy, and I had seen him in other films, and it was just like, yo, this is crazy. I loved it. And what was the song too? It was like a whistle, like
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it.
It almost it did preempt it, but it was like a call forward that we're going to get from the whole soundtrack of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Yeah. So I got to go back and watch this. I haven't really seen this since I was really young, but this is definitely one that I want to go back and revisit.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and I think I don't have kids, but I would imagine if you had kids, there's even a deeper level to it that you'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly the despair you feel once you have a responsibility.
And just to speak on the rest of the cast, like you said, we got Nicolas Cage, Holly Hunter, Frances McDormand, John Goodman, Randall Cobb, William Forsythe was in this. Wow. Trey Wilson, Sam McMurray. It's just really crazy because a lot of these people, they would go on to be so much bigger and and the Coen Brothers had them in here, back then, so in 87. So
by the way, Sam Raimi, they stole a shot at the beginning when they kidnapped the baby. They stole a shot from Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, where they just run with the camera across a yard. It's what they did for all of Evil Dead, but the Coen Brothers stole it from Sam Raimi, who they're friends with. They're in the Midwest, and they do it. They chase Nicolas Cage across the yard, and at one point they have to jump over some. But it's so funny. It's exactly out of Evil Dead if you've seen both movies. So look for that if you see it. And that's what I love, that it's a comedy, but they set the bar high. They're not like, oh, we're just going to phone they're worried about every aspect of it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I would when I was a kid. First off, Corey, I remember back when it was an HBO book. The HBO used to say,
book.
There used to be an HBO Cinemax book back in the day.
Wow.
You get in the mail.
Oh, that's different. Yeah. You know what? You're right, Corny. I think I got that. And it had a few. It was Yeah,
it wasn't a big book.
I remember that. It maybe like 10 pages. Front to back,
They tell you what was going to be on HBO every day for a month.
See, do you remember this though? Sunday was premiere day for HBO, but if the film was rated PG-13, you could watch it in the morning. Like if Gorillas in the Mist premiered Sunday night, you could also see it Sunday morning. If you got up early enough, you would see, that would be the first time you saw it, and then they repeat again later at 8. It's the man.
Yeah, but the bounty hunter in this film, I would just wait for that, the scenes where he showed up in.
Yeah, it was just so
fun.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
yeah. He's just on a big ass chopper, just getting closer.
Doom. Yeah.
All this talk about TV guys just makes me think of the grandpa in Lost Boys when he's like, "Man, what do I need a TV for? I got a TV guy. You got a TV guy? What you need a TV
See,
for?"
that was a little different though. That was the little Reader's Digest size TV
Yeah,
guy.
the little guy.
Yeah.
Better not peel the label off either.
The HBO book didn't have any articles other than describing the movie and the times or whatever.
That's it. The ratings. That's it.
All right,
Yeah,
so my next one, I'm surprised one of you guys didn't pick this. It's gonna be Tropic Thunder, and this thing hit me so hard, man. Like the first night I saw this film in the theater, it was a Thursday night, like almost midnight at the theater, local theater. So I saw, you how they get those, those weekend preview showings. But anyway, so we got a bunch of guys making this Vietnam movie. Based off a book by, what was the general? Some Sayback.
Yeah.
and so what happens is they're having trouble with this production. It's not going right, which is also ridiculous, man. The whole plot of this is insane. They've already spent millions of dollars and they fucked it up. And then they decide in the middle of the movie, we're going to drop them in the real country of origin and do some kind of almost, I guess reality. They throwing away the script, so they're going to put these guys in here and have them react to, this, the set as they throw it at them. You know what I'm saying? And capture their reactions, but they end up dropped into like a real, war zone with a real enemy presence, and it goes crazy from there, man. But this movie is so amazing. Like I could throw it on to this day and still laugh my ass off. The casting is great.
Yeah.
I think this is something that what's my man's name? Who's the main guy? Stiller, yeah, Stiller. Ben Stiller put this whole thing together, but we got Robert Downey Jr. playing a dude that's playing a dude, and this is a dude.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Jack Black.
His character was fucking great.
Oh
Man.
my fucking god,
He was
man.
so off the wall.
But it goes from there, and this thing holds up so well, man. Like it's like, I'm telling you, the first, like, you know how sometimes an audience can make the film, like when you go see it, can make the experience. And I saw that Thursday night crowd was because I went back that weekend, like on Saturday night, the same. I saw it twice that weekend, but that first night we got it. Like people were standing up and just it was so insane. Like this fucking movie, man. I can't explain it.
Tom Cruise playing Les Grossman.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Was Bill Hader as assistant?
Yeah.
What got me about the Tom?
Yeah.
You see, the makeup was so detailed. Even he had the fattest fingers. It was just it was just
fat and hairy.
I love this.
The shit that tripped me is that no matter how rough the situation got, they never broke character. They still were just,
did it.
like
it was
like just in it to win it. You know what I mean?
Because they thought they were still in the movie, and I'm like, dude, you guys are really in danger. Right. But also, let's talk about that opening scene when we're watching the movie, them shooting the movie, and it's just so over the top, like the gore, like when the one dude's arms blow off.
Yeah.
I might watch this tonight, man. I need to feel good, man. This is one you throw on if you want to feel good. But Jack Black, Tom Cruise, Brandon T. Jackson. We got Jay Baruchel from he was the guy from $1 Million Baby. You know what I'm saying? Getting punched around. Danny McBride, yeah, dude. Nick Nolte. Oh yeah, Nick Nolte. He's the general. Not the general, but what was he, sergeant? Or I forgot his rank, but he was Tay-Back. And the funny part about him, every time he said something, it was kind of just like a quote, like a poetic, like that really meant nothing. Just
What's Grossman's? What did Grossman say? Tell them to shut the hell up or something like that. Thanks what you did for the country. Now shut the hell up.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love this fucking movie. I gotta go back and watch this shit. It's been a while. Yeah. This is definitely one you could go back to and watch 100 times, man. I love fucking Tropic Thunder.
Who's the English guy that plays the director too? I can't think of his name.
Let me look. Steve Coogan, was that?
Yeah,
him?
it's Coogan.
Yeah, like you said, another just cast member after cast member, just great.
Yeah, and Matthew McConaughey, he's the agent.
He's Ben Stiller's agent. Yeah,
he flies in.
Killed a panda.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, this is one of the greats, man. This and I mean, it's relatively new. It's been a while now, but you know, just as far as like newer comedies, this thing, as soon as it came out, I feel like it was a classic. You know.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the feel it had for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Good shit. Well, my next film is almost a staple to me for rewatchability. You know what I'm saying? Because like we've been talking about it and everything, but I mean, how many times can you tell the same joke before it loses its luster? You know what I mean? But my next film is National Lampoon's Vacation, the 83 version, Chevy Chase. And I mean, I've watched this film 1,000 times over. It's one of my favorite family-oriented films. You know what I mean? And pretty much Chevy Chase is playing Clark Griswold, who wants to, take his family on the ultimate vacation. You know what I'm saying? They're going from Chicago, Illinois to California to go to Wally World. And there's nothing that doesn't happen on the way. I mean, it starts off fucked up. I mean, with him trying to trade his old car in to get a new car, and then they give him a worse car that's than his old car. And I actually like the way that car looked, though. The pea green little monster. If that joint was all black, it would look smooth. But yeah, nevertheless, I mean, like I said, there's no problems that they don't encounter. But as funny as this film is to me, it's also just awesome to see, the kind of father that he is, husband that he is, because he just won't quit. You know what I'm saying? Everything that the world throws at him, he's like, man, fuck that, I eat that, and we just keep pushing forward. We're going to go to Wally World, you know what I'm saying, and we're going to have fun. Like, it's almost to the point where he was forcing the fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But well, you know what's funny about all these movies? He's always more enthusiastic about everything than the family.
Everybody else, yeah.
And that's the thing, because this franchise is great. You know what I'm saying? They've given us I want to say 4 or 5 films. The Christmas Vacation is one of my favorite holiday films, but
I like the European Vacation.
European was good too.
Yeah.
But it's just as hilarious to me, and then all the extra characters that we get, like Cousin Eddie, played by Randy Quaid.
One of the greats. Yeah.
He's great. Like, he's my favorite. Every time he's on the screen, I'm like, man, what's this dude gonna do next? You know what I mean? And it's so awesome to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that never say die attitude through the whole 2 hours of this film. I want to say it's about an hour and 47 minutes. Might as well say 2 hours. But
one of my favorite things is when they actually make it to Wally World and it's closed.
It's closed. What a great.
Yeah, I mean, you would think the first thing you think is when the parking lot's empty.
Yeah.
And then my man just
there wasn't internet back then.
Yeah, so, you can't get email alerts
And then he's such that family guy. He's like, yeah, let's just park to the back so we get an easy exit. You know what I mean? They're running up like 20 miles and shit. Then he punches the robotic Wally World. And then also it was cool because you get a cameo with John Candy playing the security guard and everything. And
rest in peace, John.
Yeah,
Candy.
man. So I mean, there's nothing about this film that I don't like. I've watched it a million times over, man. Love this film. And I mean, like I said, it's one of the great family films that's out there, great comedy, and it doesn't lose its oomph. It never will to me. And, every time I take a road trip with my daughter, this is one of those songs I think about, that little Holiday Road song that they play through that fucking shit. And I've never heard that song on the radio ever.
But yeah, it's a great song. You can't not hear that song. Vice versa. See the movie and not hear the song in your head, or vice versa. This is they say Caddyshack. I've heard this said that Caddyshack is the most quoted movie of all time, that people quote. But for me, I think it's National Lampoon's Vacation. Just yesterday, we were somewhere and it was closed. And of course, someone said, the moose outside should have told you. Like, endless lines like that. Yeah. And you were talking about them getting even the throwaway lines are silly and funny, like the my dad says I French kiss better when they're
yeah.
Like the don't shoot the car when he's mapping the trip on the computer. Yeah, and then Russ comes in with the computer, starts shooting the car. Don't shoot the car, Russ. It's so endlessly quotable. It's great.
All right, what you got, Corny?
My next one is Stir Crazy.
Oh, my God! Yeah, I love it.
It's
Hey, Corny, can I jump in just for a second? Because I know you love this movie, and you and I might have talked about this. I just want to test and see. Corey and Bobby, you know the movie. Do you know who directed this movie?
Was it Landis?
Oh.
Good guess.
No.
It's gonna be the last person you would ever guess.
See, after that, I
Don't Google it.
I'm going to look now. Well, tell me who did it.
Sidney Poitier. I swear to God.
That is news to me.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
What?
Sidney Poitier directed Stir Crazy. I love it. That's
I didn't know he
another
directed any
Sorry,
movie.
Yeah,
cut you off,
yeah.
Corny.
To be honest, I had no idea he directed.
Me either.
This
So,
is
like,
insane. Wow. That is
Go ahead, Corey. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay. In Stir Crazy, you pretty much have friends Skip and Harry, played by Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. First off, they're like my favorite comedy duo, growing up.
Yep.
But they quit their jobs in New York and are going to move to Texas or out west. And I think they kind of get framed for robbing a bank.
Are they like con men kind of? Or
No,
just...
they're not con men in this one. They were just friends. I think Wilder might have been a writer or something, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what Richard Pryor was doing, but I know, like in the beginning of the film, like he's having served at a dinner or whatever, and one of the chefs gets his Pryor's weed and puts in the salad, and you have a whole dinner party like getting high.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
But anyway, they're moving out west from New York and get framed for robbing a bank. And from there, they're in a Texas prison. And pretty much getting like this prison rodeo to kind of, and planning an escape on during a prison rodeo and everything. But overall, it's insane film.
It is insane.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
That's some of the stuff they had to endure. But you had Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor. You had Craig T. Nelson as he was a Deputy Ward. Yeah, he was kind of a hard ass in it.
Yep.
I was just thinking, it's just a lot of actors in this. I kind of hate that, and people probably knowing me or know my number one, but I had to choose between Stir Crazy and Blazing Saddles. Mm-hmm. Blazing Saddles was like one of my other favorite films, but overall, like on a, I don't know, like just every day watching wise, I think I could watch Stir Crazy multiple times.
Yeah, I think
instead of
you know who's also in Stir Crazy? Jonathan Banks, aka Mike from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of people in here. I love this movie. Like, we bad. Because it was really crazy. Because those were real inmates they were working with during those scenes, and it's just so crazy to me. Like especially if you hear some of the behind the scenes stories about the making of this, which were also insane. Like, we're talking about the height of. I mean, Gene Wilder was doing his thing, but also this is the height of Richard Pryor, cocaine Richard Pryor. It's just crazy to me that this thing got made anyway. But yeah, like out of all the how many films did they do together as buddies? Like there were like 2 or 3 of them.
I think it was 3.
Silver Streak was the first.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been Blazing Saddles, but they wouldn't hire Richard Pryor because he was
insurance. Yeah,
he was crazy.
And then it was what? See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Right.
Yeah. I think this is probably the best one to me of their buddy films, and it's just amazing. Just the whole plot for them to also try to escape prison. You know what I'm saying? Around the rodeo, like it's insane. It's fun. It's so much fun. Like you said, like you get the moment where they're. Even before they get locked up, they're also, going, buddying up to do things, and it just plays out and it holds up to this day. You can watch this film and still have a great blast. Like I think the first time I watched it maybe was probably about 5 years ago when I actually watched this film, and I was just blown away. Like, yo, why haven't I seen this?
Yeah. It feels like like you were talking about in How High with Method Man, Redman, like how it feels. They were having fun shooting.
Yeah.
Like that's what comes across on screen, like how much fun it was.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's just the chemistry. You know what I'm saying? It's so natural, so organic that you know what I'm saying. It almost felt unscripted. Like they were just doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So what you got, man? It's on you. I think. Is it?
Nah.
No, it's back to Steve.
Oh,
It's back
my
to
bad.
Steve.
All right, we back to Steve.
All right.
We did a round. Hey, man.
I was like,
Foster's
well, I was
Australian
for podcasting.
for messing me up when I. Well, this is the final. This is the final round, yo. This
Final.
This should be the heavy hitters right
Final
here.
Jeopardy. This is it. This is my most recent. In Cornelius's angle there, my most recent, and it's still, I think, what year is this? So 14 years old, 15 years old now. Talladega Nights.
Shake and bake.
Man.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if there's a list of the top comedies ever, I expect this one to be in the top 50. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely.
like I think this has earned its spot.
It's one of those when it comes on, I'll start watching it for whatever reason it is, and then there's scene after scene of like, oh, I forgot about the kids. I forgot how funny those kids are. And then the dad comes in. Oh, I forgot about the dad.
Yeah.
And then the wife. Oh, the wife. Yeah, I forgot she went with John C. Reilly. So of course the synopsis is it's basically best. This is what I love about it. When this came out, I remember Fox News did a piece on it and said, is Hollywood just making fun of people who watch NASCAR and live in the South? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what.
Yeah, a little bit,
Pretty
a little
much.
bit, a little bit.
And it's super funny,
Yeah.
but it's well done. But Will Ferrell's the number one race car driver, and his partner is John C. Reilly, and their fortunes change, and it gets reversed. So we
That
follow.
already sounds insane. Like
Yeah.
I'm already laughing. Like
Yeah, it's already ridiculous.
I haven't
right?
seen anything yet.
So another one, great cast. So we got Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, right there, great. Sacha Baron Cohen. I didn't even mention him in the things that pop up in this movie.
Yeah.
Amy Adams is in this movie.
Yeah.
Gary Cole, who of course is from Office Space, who plays the manager there. Leslie Bibb is the wife. Michael Clark Duncan, the late Michael Clark Duncan. Jane Lynch, who this was kind of before she broke big. Andy Richter plays a small role. Molly Shannon. And again, there's
Andy Richter was like Sacha Baron Cohen's husband or something like that.
husband, yeah.
Yeah.
David Koechner, Jack McBrayer, again, it just goes on and on. Again, this is talking about Blazing Saddles, like the teaming up of, this is John C. Reilly and Farrell are kind of like the version of Pryor and, what's his face? Walker.
Yeah. They're definitely buddied up.
Wilder or what's his name? But yeah, this one's, I think it's laugh for laughs. Like it is. It's one of the greats of all time.
And I think what stands out with a film like this, and I think what makes it great, going back to just pop cultural influence, like every Shake and Bake, that it's become just part of the vernacular of society as a whole, like, and that this film has it in spades. There's so much stuff in here, like him. when they force him, the dad forces him to drive the car with the cougar in it.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back, the cougar's like eating out of his hand. Like it's just stupid, but it's like.
Well, what also made this film so funny is, most of the other films that came out like with this same storyline as far as race car driving,
like
Days of Thunder,
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder or
Days of
Driven
Thunder.
or anything. I mean, they just took the comedic approach, but all these other films are so serious.
I
You know
do
what
like
mean?
Days of
And that-
Thunder
Yeah.
for different reasons, but this is like this is the Mad Magazine Days of Thunder.
No, they just had so much fun with it. Like
So much, yeah.
everything that should be taken seriously, they just took the opposite approach, and that was just dope. It was dope as fuck.
We're
to see.
overdue for another NASCAR movie. Hollywood, get
Let's
at
do
us.
it. Yeah.
Give us something.
Oh,
We
boy.
need it.
Look, Cordy, hey man, that's the Fosters. Yo, we don't have a sponsorship, but
One of the things
They should sponsor us. Shit, we throw a couple back on every show. Goddamn.
John C. Reilly playing comedic roles.
yes,
Because overall, he's like a serious actor and everything.
Yeah. Amy Adams, same way. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of serious people in this. They just showing how good they are.
yeah.
And like any great comedy, this is one of the great ones where it has the end credits scene with the bloopers. I always love that.
Yeah.
yeah. Where
The outtakes and stuff. Yeah.
This is a great film, man. I love it. I got a copy definitely sitting on the shelf over there. You know, I was going through my shit earlier. Yeah, we got that Talladega Nights, and I throw it on every now and then. It's one of those films. You want to feel good, you sad, throw on Talladega Nights. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
And, so it's back on me.
Yeah.
All right, so my last one, you know, I kind of went in order of grandness, and I saved this one for last. So I got Harlem Nights. Year did this come out?
Was that like 89 or 87?
1989. So here,
89? Whoa.
yeah,
That was a good year.
I'll tell you an interesting story about this. Where I was at, there was a dollar theater, and you know, and my mom would take us there all the time. You know, and you know, cheap movies. So this day that I saw this film, I think my mom and my brother saw something else, and I went to see this film. And this thing ran a little bit longer than their film. And I remember coming out, and she was kind of like, "Dang, it's finally over." I was like, "I don't control how long the movie runs, Mom, but I'm glad you weren't in there, because I feel like if you were in there, we probably would have had to walk out, because I think I was 89, so I was born in 70. I'm 11 years old at that time, so I'm like a 5th, 6th grader, and I saw Harlem Nights, and none of my
That's
friends.
a cool movie to see at 11.
None of my friends' parents would take them, and I laughed my ass off so fucking hard. Like, it's ridiculous. But this film is about a group of black people in Harlem, and they run the numbers. That's their game. They're led by I forgot the dude's name, but it's Richard Pryor plays the main character, and he runs this entire numbers racket in Harlem, and they end up getting encroached upon by the Italian mafia. You know, they're pressing these guys out for money. They want in on what they're doing. He also has a club, so they want in on that club, but the club is earning as well, and they kind of resist them. And the wildest thing is, I feel like you could have made a good movie of this if you just played it straight up, but they turned it into a comedy, and it also works, and it knocks it out the park. What's so amazing to me is this cast. I mean, like, in hindsight, what happened here is so fucking monumental. You got Richard Pryor, you got Eddie Murphy, you got Red Fox, dude. Who the fuck else is it? I think
Arsenio.
Della Reese.
Della Reese. Did my man dang, what's his name? He was in House Party. He was the dad in House Party. He had a little small role.
Oh man.
He died though.
He passed right after he did
Baby.
Robin Harris. You know, like it's crazy that you get all these people together to do this thing, but also we got Danny Aiello, like, on the bad side.
Yeah, Danny Aiello has my favorite line in there in this film.
This fucking movie is so amazing. I can't I mean, the fucked up thing is the critics panned it, and you know, it sucks to me, because I think Ebert actually counted how many fucks they said in this movie. He was so pressed about the language that you know, it's almost like you're not noticing the forest for the trees. Like, and I'm like, dude, like this thing it's a masterpiece, and it still holds up to this day. Like, you can put this thing on and to sink into it. They did a great job of it's a period film as well, so they did a great job of recreating that era, and it's just so many great moments, man. I love when the Red Fox is calling the dice games.
Yeah, shoot the dice, man.
This you can't see. It's so great. Like even at the end of the night when they come in, and he's kind of getting on Della Reese, and she's going right at him about his vision, how blind he is. He's like, "You blind motherfucker!" And oh my god, I love this movie, man. It's so amazing, man. It's something that, like, I feel like, you know, when it comes to this filmmaking, every now and then something just breaks through, and this is one of those things, man. I'm so grateful that this thing exists and you could go back and watch it, you know, pretty much whenever you want. It's a masterpiece, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's one of these films that at the time when it came out, it wasn't so well appreciated, but later it grew, and people like, yeah, this thing is amazing, you know?
Yeah,
I appreciated it when it came out.
I did too.
And this was prime time. This was prime time Eddie Murphy. This is prime time. This is when he was hitting home runs back to back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? On top of everyone else who was in the film as well.
And you listen, this is a year after Coming to America with him and Arsenio. So this is that switch from Eddie Murphy, black actor in basically a white movie, to then he's making movies with an all black cast finally. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, Coming to America, this, you know what I mean? It's what we're still talking about today, 25 or 30 years later. 30 years later, he was doing it back then. It's really impressive. When you look at that list of black actors, it's every great black actor is in this.
Yeah, definitely.
I forgot. I'm looking at the cast now. I forgot Jasmine Guy was in it.
Yeah. I mean, she's fresh off a different world and killing it. And, you know, dude. It's just insane, man. And like I said, it's one of those things as well, like, that contribute to the greater pop culture, man. There's things from this film that we still bring up. Oh, you want to shoot me in my pinky toe?
Danny Aiello's Put Your Mother on the Phone.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not coming home anymore.
Oh my god. Yeah, who is that guy that actor that's oh my god. I forgot that guy because there's Danny Aiello. He plays a cop. It's just such a great film, man. Definitely. I'm kind of kicking myself. I'm gonna see if they got this on the Blu-ray. I'm about to order that like ASAP because I usually just catch it on TV or you know, some of these streaming services.
It was on Netflix for a while back.
Yeah, I feel like I need to own it. You know.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, that's definitely one that sits on the high shelves of my DVD collection.
Yeah. It's just great, man. Great. Oh my God, the fake Mike Tyson boxer. Even though this takes place in oh my God. Yeah, this is a great movie. As well as my man Tommy. He actually had a job. He was in this film. Tommy from Martin.
Was he in this too?
Yeah, he's in this. He was the guy that he was the one that I think that he got killed by Danny Aiello's crew. You know what I'm saying? Like they killed him. Yeah, but this thing is great. Yeah, definitely.
Good shit. So my last and final film is probably one of my favorite comedies ever. It's 1984's great Ghostbusters. And this film, it covers every base for me. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing outside of great that I can say about this film. It pretty much surrounds a team of scientists, and they lose their job at New York University, and then they decide that they're going to open up this firehouse and create this job called Ghostbusters, Chase the Supernatural. It almost like it was like almost like a ploy, like almost a money scheme at first. But then they find out that there are really supernatural elements going on in New York, and you know, the business starts to, you know, pick up for them in a heavy way. And you know, the thing about this film is, you know, not only is it funny as fuck, okay? I mean, you get a top build cast, and you know, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, you get Rick Moranis, Ernie Hudson, Harold Ramis, who also, him and Rick Moranis like co-wrote the screenplay and everything. So Spangler was
you mean Aykroyd?
Aykroyd helped too, but what's his name? No, they said Ramos. Harold Ramis.
I thought you said Rick Moranis.
No, and Rick Moranis also helped co-write as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were knee deep into this adventure, you know what I'm saying, of this film. And you know, it's a testament of the times and how you can make a great movie, you know what I mean? Like, there was no CGs. The special effects in this film were immaculate.
They were, but they just weren't now. What we see now.
No,
those visual effects.
Whenever you
miniatures and all that,
whenever you see any ghosts or anything, you know, I mean, it still holds up now. The only thing that looked a little shady was when the gargoyle dog was chasing. That don't hold up.
That's kind of like Ray Harryhausen kind of looking. You know,
but outside of that, when your first interaction with Slimer, or the Stay Puft Man, or I mean the chick in the library, and that's the thing about this film. Like, it starts off right out the gate. Soon as you hear the bell, this film is on all cylinders. You know what I mean? Like, and they pull no punches. and the theme song. There are people that have never seen this film, might not know much about this film. They still know the Ghostbusters film. No, that was part 2.
Oh, okay.
That was part 2. I'm talking about just the regular.
No, Ray Parker Jr. My bad.
The regular Ghostbusters song. I mean, this one hits just as heavy as the Jaws theme, or the Friday the 13th, or the motherfucking Big Mac song. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows these songs. You know what I mean? Hey, shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what's the Big Mac song.
Man, 2 all beef patty, special sauce, less tomato,
lettuce cheese,
tomato, lettuce, sesame seed bun. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Bobby.
Yeah, man. But but yeah, man. So I mean, I love this film. Just the whole dynamic of it. You know what I mean? And the fact that they just had such fun with this at a time when, you know, horror films were horror films, comedy films were comedy films, you know, XYZ.
Yeah,
but
they definitely
this one, they found a way to walk that fine line. Because I mean, the librarian situation, when they first see her, I mean, when she transforms, I mean, it's pretty scary, you know what I mean? And then, not for nothing, around the time when this came out, going into the 90s, Slimer was probably the most notable ghost around. Everyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
He was so fucking famous, he got a high C flavor.
And they had to bring it back. Ecto Cooler came back.
Yeah, and people were dropping the bag for the Ecto Cooler. Okay, you know so I mean, you know, it's just, you know, I love this shit. I mean, and like you said, when it comes to like quotables and things, don't cross the streams and everything like that. I mean, there's so many things that go on with this film. And then, you know, Stay Puft. They took one of the most innocent looking caricatures.
Look dangerous.
And I mean, this motherfucker is stomping through New York like Godzilla with a smile.
You know what's funny? He has a smile. But as soon as they hit him with them beams, his face goes like,
and then it's funny because he starts getting like the little like burnt s'more marks on him and shit. Like, I mean, you know, it was great. Like, you know, when I was and it still holds up now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, and this is one of those films. You know, you got a great film when the sequel is running parallel to the first, but they also made a cartoon.
Oh, I love the cartoon.
The cartoon,
honestly, to me, like
yes.
For me, the cartoon was the pinnacle, just because it got so deep into the lore of the ghost.
Yes.
And this open spirit guy kept coming up, and I love that shit.
Yes, man. I mean, so that's when you know you hit a home run. You know what 100%. I'm saying? Once they start making fucking animated versions of, you know, your story. So I mean, I love this film through and through. You know what I mean? It's just there's nothing at all bad I can say about it. I was watching it earlier just because we're doing the show, and that fucking part where Bill Murray first sees Slimer, he's like, yeah. I look at him, and then he just starts screaming into the walkie-talkie.
Slime. Wow. And then Nickelodeon turned that into a hit show.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
it all. They stole it.
Yeah, that's a great one, man.
Too. You're right too about the power of this movie. Like, you can take, it doesn't matter if you've seen it or not. You can take an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old, and you just have to say, who are you going to call? And they'll also Ghostbusters.
Are you the keymaster? Or are you the gatekeeper?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so many moments. Like,
and then Sigourney Weaver at her hottest too.
At her hottest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, it was great. You know, I love this film through and through. So yeah, man. Ghostbusters.
This man has no dick is one of my favorite lines.
Is it true? Yes.
Wild, I guess it's on you, Corny, to take us home.
Okay, Steve knows this is tied with my number one film all time is a tie between The Empire Strikes Back and this film, which is The Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
I've probably watched this film since it was probably on HBO back as a child. I probably watch it multiple times a year. You know, it's one that I probably count. You know, my count of what I'm watching probably once, but I probably, if I'm having a bad day, I'll put this film on and just, sit back and relax and just, giggle at it. You have the Blues Brothers played by John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, also from Ghostbusters. We're raised in an orphanage, and Jake's getting out of jail, played by Belushi. Gets out of jail and finds out that the orphanage they grew up in is fixing to get closed by the city of Chicago, and they're out to bring a band back together so they can raise money so they can save that orphanage. Overall, you pretty much had a shitload of comedians, a shitload of musicians. You had Ray Charles, you had Aretha Franklin, you had
Cab Calloway.
Calloway. You had Shaka Khan. You had James Brown.
I can't think of his name. Who's the boom, 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 boom?
It's interesting that you got James Brown in this film, and then Dan Aykroyd shows up in Get On Up with Chadwick Boseman. And I just watched that this morning. That's all. It's crazy how these things are connected.
Yeah.
Oh, John Lee Hooker. Yeah, you have John Lee Hooker. I'm blanking on names, but actually, on top of that, you have like actors like Steven. You have two directors. You have Frank Oz and Steven Spielberg in it. You have let's look at some actors. You have Carrie Fisher. You have John Landis actually in the film. He directed. You have John Candy in the film. But overall,
Carrie Fisher in both your two favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
You're definitely a fan.
Yeah. But overall, I would consider this being a musical because it's a lot of musical acts in it. It's also a bit of an action movie. It's a car chase movie. And then on top of that, it's a comedy. They do some damage in Chicago, but it's like I said, it's like my favorite film. It's a lot of action, a lot of fun. You start, just going back, you just seeing like Pee Wee Herman before he's a actual, thing. Yep. He's doing a cameo in a restaurant. And then Blues Brothers band is actually a pretty good band when you go back and listen to their music and everything. But overall, I just, love this film, everything about it.
Yeah.
And then it's real quotable.
Endlessly.
Yeah.
Orange whip. Yeah.
Real Orange Whip.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is when they go to the Bob's Country Bunker. And the lady there that's helping run the place, she says they have both types of music, country and western.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what
they kind of grift their way into performing at this place, but they are a rhythm and blues band, and they getting their hustle on.
Yeah, they figure a way to get through the gig by playing the Rawhide theme and right, like just
yeah.
It is. I agree with you. It almost made my list. I didn't put it on my list because I knew you would pick it, Corny.
Right.
I love that there's so many ties between the movies we mentioned. Listen, like Ghostbusters, Eddie Murphy, who was in Harlem Nights, was supposed to play the Ernie Hudson role originally.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Wow.
Belushi, was supposed to be part of the original Ghostbusters too, and I think that was going to be it was Aykroyd and Belushi again.
And it's interesting with that Ernie Hudson thing because Murphy was like, I need this role to be different. And he turned it down, but when Ernie Hudson took it, they actually did make it different. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, they changed it. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I love that stuff. This plays into the same way the Harlem Nights for you, Corey. My mom took us to the movie. She went and saw The Shining, and me and my friend wanted to see the Blues Brothers. It was rated R, so she bought us tickets, and then we went in, and they went and saw The Shining. But we weren't supposed to see this. And again, compared to Harlem Nights, I think this is much tamer.
Well, my mom didn't care. There were nights that she went to see horror movies, and I sat there for like 90% of the movie.
Yeah.
That's how I was.
She
Yeah,
did
my
not
mom would
care.
she would take me to see all that crazy shit.
Yep. That's
I was born in '76, and this came out in '80, and I remember seeing this on HBO when I was a kid.
I definitely remember Phantasm 2, and I was just like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. There were quite a few.
You know, it scarred me because I remember that specifically. Phantasm 2. Like it definitely, it gave me. That was one of the ones. I'm not trying to go to sleep. I know I'm gonna have bad dreams.
That's how I felt about Pet Cemetery, dog. She took me to see Pet Cemetery in the theater. I was like, Zelda was my boogeyman.
Zelda was horrible as a kid. Yeah, that was.
Whenever my brother wanted to fuck with me, he was like, she's in the closet.
Like, for some reason, at that age, like, things that look decomposed or just just deformed, that really fucked with me as a kid. Now I could eat lasagna and watch The Walking Dead. So
what's what I'm saying? You build a tolerance after a while.
I know Poltergeist was PG, a regular PG movie back in the day, and I remember seeing that on HBO. But
didn't they have real dead bodies in there, like in one of those?
Yeah,
in the pool.
But when I was a kid, one of my aunts actually had that clown in her house. And you talking about something that just freaked you the fuck out, just.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the most notable scenes of that film for me was the part where the mom turned her back in the kitchen, and then she turns around, all the cupboards were open, and the chairs were stacked up. Every time I see something that's not where I thought I left it, I'm like, are they fucking with me? Is somebody fucking with me?
You never have a ghost like clean a house though. They do all that mischief like that.
You gonna
they never just go,
cool. Can you vacuum or do the dishes or something?
Yeah, show around Swiffer in the place.
Fuck with me when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, like kill my enemies or something. Like
do something good.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to go back just because we got back to the ghost thing. I think Slimer's still a top 5 ghost. Who are the most famous ghosts?
Yeah, definitely.
Casper?
He's on the list.
Casper and Slimer.
I don't even like Casper. Casper
was too friendly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Casper
still
was
a top
whack.
5.
Yeah, and then it's funny because, like, when you take it from his role in the movie to the cartoon, he actually became like the mascot.
Right.
Yeah.
He was friends with him, right?
You know what I mean? So shit. Outside of Slimer and Casper, who is the next ghost in line?
Will Christine be a ghost? It's a haunted car.
I really hope they redo that film.
Yeah.
Maybe they can make it an Infinity.
Yeah. Repair itself. Also with Christine, we're getting off subject. I wonder what kind of gas mileage that a haunted car gets.
I think it can do whatever it wants to do.
Like 4 miles.
That was probably the first. That was the first electric vehicle.
Oh man.
Running off souls.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. All right, man. We gotta wrap this up, man. It's been great kicking it with you, Steve. Anytime.
Thank you guys for having me. It was so much fun.
This is great,
fun
man.
talking movies with you.
Yeah, if you need any of us, hit us up. We'll come running. You know what I'm saying? And we'll definitely have you on anytime in the future, man. Because what we've been doing our regular shows, but I think once a month we're gonna do one of these bonus episodes and pick a topic and just have someone come on and talk about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was great. This has
definitely
been great. Tell the people how they could find you and find your podcast actually, and all that.
So SteveMazan.com. It's MAZAN. I'm thinking about going with amazing. We'll see if I think I did okay on this podcast. So we'll live up to it. But SteveMazan.com, and then my podcast is just my last name, Mazan Movie Club. And you can see my comedy on YouTube and stuff like that. Steve Mazan.
Right. Yeah, that's what's up, man. This has been Corey. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the podcast at From Canopy on Twitter and at From the Canopy on Instagram. And you can email us from the canopypod@gmail.com and check us out at fromthecanopy.com.
And this is Bobby Blockbuster. There's a slight chance that you might be able to catch me on Instagram at Bobby Blockbuster 118. But you gotta, you gotta go on there first. I don't know.
I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Twitter at Cornelius1976, on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, and on TikTok, which I actually need to start posting stuff on TikTok, but that's Cornelius1976.
I think I'm
I get on TikTok
before
and
you did.
it's a big time suck or whatever. A lot of videos, you kind of watch and have stuff to laugh at, and
I got it, but I don't get on it.
It's a fun app.
It is. That's why I'm not getting on it, because it's gonna take even more time for me for things that I need to be doing. But yeah, thanks, Steve, and we're gonna catch y'all next
You and your
time,
life.
folks.
Thanks, guys.